Hi, this is Itay. I'll try to make a spontaneous video about the massacre that occurred a few days ago in New Zealand. First of all, I want to show my condolences to the victims and to their families, and speedy recovery to the wounded, and of course justice to those who perpetrated this terrible atrocity. Now, the main goal of my talk is to talk to you about, to explain to you what happened there. What happened there is that the Middle East invaded the Western world. The Middle East, when I say the Middle East, I mean the methods used by the Middle East. I think there is nobody in the Middle East who was surprised from this kind of atrocity, because those atrocities are things that occur almost daily in many countries in the Middle East. For example, in Egypt with the Copts, it happens in Afghanistan and Pakistan, it occurs in Israel and Palestine from time to time, it occurs in Syria. The killing of people in places of worship sometimes looks like it's a regular part of living in the Middle East. If you want to murder your enemies, the best place to find them is in the place of worship, and that is what that person did today, or did a few days ago in New Zealand. The thing that you have to remember is that about 20 years ago, when the migration from the Middle East to the West began in earnest, there was a notion that the West can change the Middle East. The Middle Easterners can come and be absorbed and forget about their old primitive ways and become Westerners. As years progress, we see that the opposite occurred. Not only that the Middle Easterners didn't relinquish their religion. Yes, they became Westerners in the way that they started adopting some external Westerner views, but they didn't change their views, their minds. They didn't change their work, their adherence to the Islamic way of life, to the Islamic tradition. They stayed as they were. Now, the thing that changed here is that we see Westerners starting behaving like Middle Easterners. The person who murdered so viciously the 50 worshippers behaved like we expect the Middle Easterners to behave, to kill people in their place of worship. It is my belief that even though I'm very much sorry for it, this is going to be the way of the future. In the future we're going to see much more problems between Westerners and Middle Easterners, and the way that terror occurred by Muslims is going to be, we're going to see much more terror by Westerners occurring. I don't have any good resolution to this problem, and the only thing I can say is that the West brought those people, those Muslims, to the West, and now this is the penalty for doing it. It is my expectation to see much more occurrences of this nature in the coming years. Thank you. Tell me what you think in the comments. Goodbye.